What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we're continuing our record predictions and roster breakdowns for the 2021 season. And today we got the Detroit Lions. Full disclosure, not a big fan of the Lions this year. Okay, I think it's going to be a rough season for them. And let's go ahead and hop into the roster to find out why. Number one, they traded for Jared Goff. The only good part about that is they added a bunch of picks, but they still have this guy under way too much money on his contract, and he's a clear downgrade from Matthew Stafford. Both of them number one overall picks prior years, but Jared Goff is not Matthew Stafford. Deandre Swift is a nice little running back they got over there. I actually like him a lot. He runs a sub 4.5 40-yard dash, and he actually showed a lot of good moves and good talent, good vision, and sky's the limit for Mr. Deandre Swift. Tyrell Williams, I actually like Tyrell Williams from the Las Vegas Raiders. He's 6'4", 220. The big problem about him is he's got to stay healthy. Also, I don't like him as the number one receiver on your team, and the rest of the receiving group is absolute not good. It's just bad wide receiver core. Amon-Ra St. Brown, rookie they drafted in the third round, has a little bit of potential to be a possession-style receiver, but he's not a guy that's going to amaze you with his speed or absolutely blow the top off the defense or do amazing things. He's kind of just going to be that Mr. Consistent. That's kind of his potential, in my opinion. TJ Hockenson has a chance to be a top 5 tight end. Right now, he's probably borderline towards the back half of the top 10, but he's got big potential from Iowa, and we'll see if he can do that. Their offensive line actually isn't that bad. I'm not a fan of their guards, but Taylor Decker was awesome last year. They got Frank Ragnow at center, and they drafted Penei Sewell, which I think is an absolute steal at pick number 7. He should have gone number 5 to the Bengals. Instead, he falls, and the Lions get an awesome one. On to the defense, and this is where it gets really bad. And they were abysmal a year ago. Unbelievably bad. It was horrible. 32 points per game given up and over 400 yards per game given up. It was bad. And they basically said, you know what, let's go ahead and just build a new defense. They added a bunch of pieces, and I don't know if it's going to be enough this year, to be honest with you. Michael Brockers, they got from the Rams. 30-year-old vet, not too bad. Aleem and Levy are both rookies this year, so how much are you going to expect out of those guys? They have the Aquara brothers, and Romeo Aquara was actually one of their bright spots last year. He had 10 sacks, and good for him because nobody else was even close. The middle linebackers are okay. They had Alex Anzalone from the Saints. They're around 60 PFF. They're nothing special, but they're not the worst things on this team. Sean Deion Hamilton, their backup, was horrible for Washington, so don't expect a lot out of him. Trey Flowers is probably their best player on defense right now. He did get hurt last year, and he just can't really break out one of those seasons where he gets a ton of sacks because the defense around him is just so bad. Then you get to their secondary, and their secondary is consistent, but unfortunately it's consistently bad because this whole defensive secondary is basically rated 50 PFF, like 51, 52, 53, right in there, except for their former first-round pick, Jeff Okudah, last season, and he was actually a 42 PFF, and he allowed on like 50-something targets, he allowed like 40 catches or something, like a crazy catch rate when it came to throwing his way. They did draft Ifeatu Melifonwu from Syracuse, and a lot of people had him as a potential second-round pick who really could be good, and they ended up getting him in the third round, so a nice steal there for the Lions' potential. And yeah, this is the Lions team. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. They have a lot to work to do. And then Dan Campbell, I'm not really interested as a head coach right now either. They have him listed as the 31st best, so the second worst coach in the league. And I pretty much agree with it. I don't know who they had the worst, but he's down there is my main point. All right, on to their schedule, and their schedule does them no favors. They have a super tough schedule. You can see this. The Niners are coming back healthy, and they have to play in week 1, so they're not going to be banged up by then. They have Green Bay twice. They have the Ravens. They have that whole division is tough. The Bengals, the Steelers, and the Browns are all going to be really tough games. They still have to play the Vikings, who a lot of people like this year. Some people even predict them to potentially go out on a limb and beat the Packers for the division potentially. Arizona is a outside Super Bowl contender. I really like Denver this year. Atlanta, meh. Atlanta is a team that you never know what you're going to get. Philadelphia is probably one of their easiest games on the schedule, and that's still not a give me because they actually have quite a bit of talent over there. They just have to see what happens with health by this time. And Jalen Hurts, is he actually going to be a high potential quarterback, or do they actually make a move and go ahead and get Deshaun Watson? It's well known Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston. It seems like the league's going to let him play this year. Eagles are interested. They have the draft capital. They could make the move, and then that would make another tough game on the schedule for the Lions. So the only wins I'm giving them all this year is I'm going to have them split with everybody in the division. You never know with division games. They're always weird and wonky. And only reason I'm having them split with the Packers is because it's the last game of the season, and there's potential there that the Packers will bench all their players and give the Lions the win, essentially. So that would be a 3-14 season I'm predicting, and that's what I'm going to go with. They're competing for the number one spot this year and try to go get a real quarterback not named Jared Goff. There's a lot of interesting guys coming out next year. We'll see what they end up doing, but they're competing for one of the top spots. They're going to be a top 5 pick, probably a top 2 pick, and we'll see where it goes from there. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also in the description below is a Discord link. Hop on our Discord and come talk some football. And last but not least, there are donation links in the description below. If you feel so kind, you could donate to the channel. And until next time, see ya!